Chapter 67. Murray. Hard as nails. Sarah would have got it sooner. She'd have noticed the name in a way that Murray hadn't. Would have stopped to read it out, to talk about it. What a terrible name for a salon. Salon. He imagined her jerking a finger at the pocket notebook entry that meticulous noted the names of those present when police broke the news that Carolyn's husband had killed himself. Laurel Barnes, receptionist at Hard as Nails. I hate it when businesses try to be funny. Murray could hear Sarah's voice as clearly as if it was sitting in the car with him. You may as well call it No More Nails just because it's catchy and it has nails in it. And that would be a ridiculous name, too. Murray laughed out loud. He caught himself. If talking to oneself was the first sign of madness, where did holding imaginary conversations rank? Still, Sarah would have remembered the name, and if she had talked to Murray about it, he would have remembered it too. And then when he left Diane Brent Taylor's house, wondering who had stolen her name, the fly on the notice board would have helped leapt out at him, and he would immediately have made the association between Laura Barnes and her former place of work. In Murray's experience, inventing an alias was surprisingly difficult. He used to laugh at the green kids from the estate, looking like rabbits in headlights as they tried to come up with something convincing. Invariably, they'd use a middle name, the name of a kid at school, the name of their street. Laura had panicked, hadn't bargained on having to give a name at all, perhaps. Thought she'd just ring on the nines and report a suicide, and that would be that. What's your name? Murray could picture the claw taker, head set in place, fingers hovering over keys. He could picture Laura too out on the cliffs, the wind wiping the words from her mouth, her mind a blank. Not Laura. She wasn't Laura, she was a customer, picked at random. Diane Brentella. It had almost been perfect. When Murray pulled into his street, it was 11:30, just enough time to find his slippers, pop the champagne, and sink onto the sofa with Sarah in front of Jules Holland and his hootenary guests. And at midnight, as a welcome in the new year, he would tell Sarah that he wouldn't be going back to work, that he was retiring again, and properly this time. He remembered an old detective inspector who worked his 30 years, then worked another 10, married to the job, people used to say, although he had a wife at home. Murray had gone to his retirement party, where he eventually had one, had heard all the DIs, planned to travel the world, learn a language, take up golf. Then he died, just like that, a week after he returned his ticket. Life was too short. Murray wanted to make the most of it while he was still young enough to enjoy it. A fortnight ago, he had been feeling every bit deserving of his bus pass. Today, even at this late hour, and after the day he'd had, he felt as sprightly as the day he'd joined the job. Someone in the next street was letting off fireworks, and for a second the skies lit up with blues and purples and pinks. Murray watched the sparks burst outwards and then fade to black. The cul-de-sac split into two at the end, and Murray slowed down before he turned left into his section of the road. His neighbours were mostly elderly and unlikely to be celebrating New Year's Eve by dancing in the street, but you never know. There were more fireworks as he turned the corner, the sky glowing blue, and no, not fireworks. Murray felt ice in his stomach. There were no fireworks. It was light, revolving silently, bathing the house, the trees, the people who stood outside their homes in soft blue. No, 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 Murray heard someone talking. Didn't realize it was him. He was too intent on the scene unfolding in front of him, the ambulance, the medics, the open front door, his front door. Chapter 68, Anna. You wouldn't. Laura raised an eyebrow. There's a brave challenge for someone on the wrong side of the gun. She screws up in her face. Can't you stop her crying? I rock my arms from side to side, but Ella's too fractious and I'm too edgy to make the movement smooth, and it only serves to make her cry harder. I lay her horizontally across my body and lift my top to feed her. The room goes mercifully quiet. She's just a baby. I try to appeal to Laura's maternal side, although to my knowledge she's never wanted children. Whatever you do to me, please don't hurt Ella. But don't you see, that's the only way it works. You and Ella have to die first. Caroline has to kill you. Somewhere in the depth of the building I hear a dull thud. No. Mom's been quiet until now, and the sudden shout makes Ella start. I won't. She looks at me. I won't. She can't make me. I don't have to make you. I've got the gun. Laura holds it aloft, the fabric of her shimmery top still wrapped around her fingers. It's got your prints on it. Slowly, as she walks towards the gun pointed directly at her. I look at the door, wonder if I'll make it. No one will ever know it wasn't in your hands the whole time. You won't get away with this. She raises one perfectly plucked eyebrow. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? There's a roaring in my ears. Ella feeds hungrily. As it happens, I have an insurance policy of my own. She smiles. Should the police be suspicious, I just have to point them in the right direction. I'll remember that I overheard you both talking about Tom's life insurance policy that you claimed up when you saw me coming. The two of you were in together from the start. They'll never believe that. There's more noise from somewhere inside the building. I listen for the ping of the lift, but there is something different, something rhythmic. And when they dig a little deeper, they'll discover that the phone used to report Tom's suicide was brought in Brighton. She paused for effect, by none other than Anna Johnson. The rhythmic sound grows louder, faster. I stall for time. I always saw us as family. I move slowly across the flat until I'm standing next to my mother, facing Laura. The poor relation, I suppose. I know what this noise is. Laura's consumed with anger, spitting out 33 years of resentment. It was just normal for you, wasn't it? Big house, clothes allowance, skiing in the winter, France every summer. The noise is the feet running on stairs, police boots, stopping 2 floors below and continuing more quietly than a lift that announces its arrival. Laura's eye snaps to the door. I start to shake. It was Mum who brought the gun. She brought Ella and me here. Mum who killed Dad and hid the body. They don't even know Laura's involved. Why wouldn't they believe her story? She'll get away with it all. That's not my fault, Laura, and it isn't Ella's. Just like living on benefits in a damn flat with a sick mother wasn't my fault. Outside the door is a whisper of a noise. Laura hands me just a fraction, her finger closing around the trigger of the gun. Her face is pale, a pulse throbbing in the side of her neck. She's scared too. We're all scared. Don't do it, Laura. I strain my ears and hear the quiet shuffle of feet outside the door. Will they burst through the way they do in films? Shoot first, ask questions later. Adrenaline coursing through me. As Ella pulls away, I feel my whole body tense. My mother is breathing hard. She's cornered. Nowhere left to run, no more lies to tell. She backs slowly away from Laura, away from me. Where are you going? Stay where you are. Mum glances behind her at the unguarded balcony with its 7th-floor drop. She looks up at me with eyes that plead forgiveness, like a television playing mutely in the corner of a room. My head fills with scenes from my childhood. Mum's reading me stories, Dad's teaching me to ride bikes, Mum's at dinner, laughing too hard, too long, shouting downstairs, Dad shouting back, what are the police waiting for? I rabbit on the doorstep, I break through the window. Mum's holding Ella, holding me. Suddenly I know what she's thinking, what she's going to do. Mum, no. She carries on walking. Slowly, from the apartment next door comes a burst of shouting as the party guest counts down to midnight. Laura looks wildly between the front door and Mum, distracted by the shadow, not knowing what to do, where to look. 10, 9, 8. I follow Mum into the balcony. She knows it's all over. She knows she's going to prison for what she's done. I think what it will be like to lose my mother for a second time. 7, 6. There's a dull clunk of something heavy from the landing. Laura moves the gun, points it directly at me. Her finger tightens behind me. Mum is crying. The wind whistles across the balcony. 5, 4, 3. The cheers from next door grow louder. Around us, more fireworks, more cheers, more music. Don't shoot, I scream. Yet as loud as I can, the sound is extraordinary, 1,000 decibels. More. The door off its hinges, crashing to the floor, and 100 armed police running in. Noise, so much noise from them and from us. And drop the weapon! Laura backs towards the corner of the room, the gun still in her hand. My mother's feet graze the broken glass at the edge of the balcony. The hem of her dress flutters. She looks into my eyes and then she goes. I scream on and on until I don't know if she's only in my head or if everyone else can hear it too. Her dress billows like a fouled parachute and she spins over, nowhere plummeting downwards. Fireworks explode overhead, filling the sky with gold and silver train. A police officer by my side mouthing words I can't hear, a face full of concern, wrapped a blanket around me, around Ella. He puts a hand on my back and guides me inside, not letting me check my pace as we walk through the apartment and out to the landing, even though I can see Laura lying on the ground. A police officer kneeling beside her. I don't know if she's dead or alive, and I don't know if I care. In the ambulance, I can't stop shaking. The paramedic is cheerful and efficient with blonde hair and two big plaits over her shoulders. She puts a shot in my arm that second later made me feel as I've drunk a bottle of wine. I'm breastfeeding, I said too late. It's no good to her you're having a panic attack. Better, she's a bit sleepy than hyper on secondhand adrenaline. There's a clunk at the back door. Ambulance opens. I think I recognize the police officer with a blanket, but the drugs have made me woozy and running uniform looks the same. Visitors, he said, and stepped to one side. They wouldn't let us pass the police tape. Mark clambers into the ambulance and half falls into the bed next to me. No one would tell me what was going on. I was so scared. You were. He breaks up before his voice lets him sit down and instead wraps his arm around Ella and me. She's asleep, and I wonder again what babies dream of, and if she'll ever have nightmares about what happened tonight. Being in the walls, Annie? Billy tries for a smile but fails. Worries etch on his face. Laura. I started, but my head feels too heavy, my tongue too big for my mouth. I've given her something for the shock. I hear the paramedic say she'll be feeling a little groggy for a while. We know, Billy says to me. When Mark cancelled the party, he told me what happened about Caroline's cousin and her violent ex. It didn't sit right with me. Caroline never mentioned her cousin Angela. And then there were the shotgun Laura had borrowed just hours ago. I was lying across Ella's car seat, keeping out of sight, terrified I'd be seen. It's as though I'm recalling a film or a story that happened to someone else. I can't recapture the fear I felt, and I wonder if it's just the drugs making me feel unreal. I hope it isn't. I pick up Billy and we go. We got here as quickly as we could. There's something different between them. No more tension, no more verbal rotting, but I'm too tired to analyze it. And now the paramedics are gently ushering them both outside, and lying me down on the bed and strapping down Ella too. I close my eyes, giving to sleep. It's all over.